Hello, everyone. How is everybody doing? Hi, Maricela. Hi, Nikki. Hi, Adva. Hi, Michael. Hi, Juan. I am interested to see what this week will be like for everybody. We have some really interesting things going on in our sky. Oof. So nothing, I mean, on a mundane level, please, by all means, go listen to Lori Rivers. She's going to tell you the weather, what's going on in the world, current events, world events, how the astrology that will be reflected in the astrology, because astrology is reflective, it's not causality. And I want to say that. So when everybody takes on like, oh no, this is going retrograde or Uranus is moving into a sign, does it cause upset in the outer world? Things don't just seem like they're rolling along as normal. Yes. But when we have descended and acclimated to things that are not good for everyone, those planets are here to help us. The other thing is that I mean, it is reflective. Uranus and Gemini will not cause blackouts, the 911 going down in Pennsylvania. It is reflective of the things we can use, the reflection of the astrology on what human beings, technology, all of those other things, and the free will of others, and what we've let slide, what we've taken action to. The astrology will just reflect that. It's not causing it to happen. None of the planets are causing any of the horrible things we see, but we know that we might see a culmination of people's actions and inactions. Get involved, get involved, get involved, get involved with your local school board, library board, somewhere. Get involved, right? Because we're giving it all to the people in power. So when we've done that, we've just acclimated, and that's the way things go. That is what is causing everything. The astrology is reflective. That's why we can use it for predictive. We can look at the astrology coming up to know, okay, in the context, we predict in the context. And that leads me to the next thing I want to say, which is why I decided I wanted to do weekly astrological forecasts and then read the tarot for the context we will be living in, reflective of the astrology, and then letting it get a little bit more personal, pulling cards for each sign. If you want something more personal than that, I have readings. I will put my link tree up. I am having Uranus and Gemini has just been, I helped Lori with her site, and there's just stuff going on where people are sending us pictures where it looks crazy. And then we go on the site and it looks fine. And there's nothing I can fix on my end, but it's still showing up wonky on somebody else's end. That's Uranus and Gemini, like looking at two people looking at the same site, but it looks like two different sites, right? So I'm also having issues with my site. I'm hoping to have that fixed. However, I'll make sure I put my link tree on this video. Also, you can just email me and I can send you the link direct. If you are interested in a personal reading, I do tarot through Suzzy Evolutionary, and I do astrology over at Awake Space, which I'm very proud to be doing. When Lori Rivers asked you to read for her, there's, it could almost replace all the other pieces of paper that I have from classes. Okay. So let's get into this week. Let me share the screen. Still a little shaggy from the shower. Let me get our transits up. So what has happened since we all last convened, because I did not convene, I did not meet up with you all last week, is that Uranus moved into Gemini. Now, Uranus takes 7 years in a sign. Neptune takes 14. Pluto takes anywhere from like 11 to 20 or more. Its orbit is not as steady as the other two outer planets. Saturn moves every 2.5 years. It's in between 2.5 and 3, and Jupiter moves about between 12 and 13 months. So to have all of them move a sign within a 9-month period, that is more unusual. Now, if anybody's saying, oh my God, Uranus is 60 degrees, it's having a conversation with Pluto, that is a little bit more rare. But Neptune having, it's in a trine with Pluto, but Neptune having a conversation, having a tight conversation with Pluto, it's a sextile at 60 degrees. That's been happening for decades and decades. They're always in a sextile. Now that's going to change as Pluto spends a lot more time in these next couple of signs. So unless you are very young, you probably won't live long enough to see Pluto in Taurus. If you're hearing my voice now, it's, more than 40 years down the road. So, I mean, you could be in your 20s, sure. But we have a change in the guard. We have a change in the orbit that no one has seen in this lifetime with Pluto. When we recognized Pluto, when we discovered it was in Cancer. And my dad was actually Pluto in Cancer. So we're only up to Aquarius right now, if that gives you a gauge of how long Pluto stays in a sign. Let's get the transits up. Okay. And let me pop this chat out so I can see what you all are saying. There we go. Okay. Multitasking. So today, Saturn will go retrograde. It has already in Aries. So we have Saturn, the planet of accountability, of self-actualization, of I keep trying to clear that so it doesn't look, it should not look like Vaseline on the lens. It is the planet of self-actualization. It's father time. It is rules. It's structure. It is standing the test of time. It is building something that lasts. In Aries, it wants to go, go, go. And so what we've seen since Saturn has gone into Aries is we've seen organized protest, and also Neptune going into Aries, because Neptune is the culture. It's the greater collective. So we have seen the pushback, right? Now, with it in retrograde, Neptune being in retrograde, we're going to see a lot more truths. We're going to see a lot more bombs drop. I know Matilda, if you're not following her on all her platforms and her Patreon, please do. She predicted leaked tapes. She made a video on TikTok about like leaked tapes, and Lori has been talking about people, telling on each other, and information coming out, and I've been saying that once Neptune and Saturn went into retrograde, it would be truths in order to hurt people, right? So now on a collective, on an individual level, what does that mean for you? So this is a time where delusions, if we have assumptions in our relationships, this is a great time to get information, ask somebody a question, and you may get the honest truth, so that you are not operating under assumptions or delusions. And we say delusions, we don't mean you're cray cray. We just mean that, sometimes we want to think the best of people, and that's a very Neptunian thing. And so with Neptune in retrograde, uh, hi Nikki, hi Vanessa, we're able to get to the bottom of things a little bit more quickly. It's, if you imagine the arrow of Mars, which rules Aries, kind of popping through the fog, the smoke screen that Neptune creates, that's the vibe, that's the energy. So things can seem a lot more clear. Now with Saturn conjunct this Neptune, and now they are both in retrograde, we have to be accountable. Once we start seeing, we will also see ourselves very clearly. This is a chance to kind of take stock. I think that often during these kinds of transits, people will come into our lives that have slightly exaggerated behaviors. We could become aware of our own behaviors, whether that's just having a moment, or somebody else is doing something that gets on your nerves a little bit. And all of a sudden you realize, oh, I think I might do that on a smaller scale. So there's a lot of truth and accountability and self-actualization and healing through this Saturn and Neptune. So this week is a fantastic week. Now that Saturn has gone retrograde, it's not like, oh, this terrible thing is happening, and we're all seeing the people who are visiting that horrible concentration camp in Florida, and the truth is coming out about things. We are going to also have that on a much smaller scale in our life. So gathering the information, understand where everybody is motivated from. You may think it could be something where you've been seeing somebody a long time, and because of things that have been said here and there, and because you have professed like there's nobody else but you for me, you may be thinking it's just us, but the conversation of actual exclusivity has not happened yet. This would be a great week to have that. And when we are having this conversation, because it's Saturn in Aries, right, the accountability falls on us. It shouldn't be, how could you let me labor under this delusion? If you didn't ask prior and no one clarified prior, there can't be responsibility on the other person, right? We are responsible for fact checking not only what goes out in the public. Hi, water bearer. Oh, that's Armando. Hi, love. But also what goes on in our own lives. And sometimes we don't ask questions we don't want the truth to. These planets are going to stay retrograde. You don't have to do everything this week, but this week it may be more prominent. Truth falling in your lap, little things that you can't ignore. And then the question is not, how are you going to punish somebody else because you had an assumption? How are you going? It's, how do I create the boundaries, Saturn? How do I take accountability, Saturn? And also Aries is about you, the individual. This is a really great time if you're in a relationship to find the beautiful balance of interdependence instead of codependence or just straight independence. Interdependence is what is really how relationships flourish the most, right? This is also could show up for you at work. It depends on what house is in. What house do you have Aries in? Now, this is having a conversation in a sextile with Pluto. It's also having a conversation it's having a conversation with Pluto in a sextile. It's also having a conversation in sextile with Uranus. Now, Venus has moved off of Uranus, right? So while it's still kind of talking to the Neptune, it's really more having the conversation with Jupiter, Mercury, and Mars right now. That reminds me of that "Fly Me to the Moon," because you know, find out about Jupiter and Mars. Anyway, ADHD squirrel, your neurospice, the astrologer. So it's having these strong conversations, this little conjunction. Now, these two are holding hands. If you evil twin, I'm evil then. They're not evil, but what one is doing, the other one's doing, they're working in conjunction. It is a conjunction. But it's also having this strong conversation with Pluto, which is meant to, in Uranus, rebel, liberate, transform, organize, work together. The other thing about when we have Pluto and these two in retrograde is that it gives us a chance to slow down. How do we want to handle something? How do we want to handle the accountability? It's actually really going to help you to not just find out something that you didn't want to find out, or is unpleasant to find out, or is sobering to find out, and then just react. Now, Mars is in Virgo. So how you react is going to depend on your own Mars sign. Drop your Mars sign in the comments. If you know it, you should if you're on this channel, but if you don't, I'd be happy to help you with that. But drop your Mars sign in the comments, because how your natal Mars is how you might react. But Virgo in the sky, Virgo Mars in the sky, is also going to want to slow down, group yourself, get yourself together, be organized, and hit the bullseye. So, hi. I'm always sending people over there, and I love that people come over here from there. You know what? All rivers lead to a wake space. Welcome, Gab. So with Mars, Mars in Scorpio, Mars in Libra, yeah, drop your Mars sign. So with Virgo, Virgo's going to want to hit what you're going to want to have that conversation once. You're going to want to make sure you execute it correctly. You don't want to be messy. With Mercury in Leo, you're going to want to be heard. Again, we have Saturn and Neptune having a conversation with Pluto and having a conversation with that Uranus, which is going to bring things that we can't maybe see coming. And also in Gemini, there's going to be two ways to handle this surprise, or it may come in, it feels like two things are coming in at once, like two unexpected things are happening at once. It's also going to affect our communication. I'm having this Uranus. Obviously, everybody is having Uranus trine Pluto right now. And in air signs, it's very, it's buzzy. It can have us very mentally active, makes it a little harder to sleep sometimes. Now, I'm also having this in a grand trine in my chart with the two transits, along with my natal Uranus, which is also in an air sign. So I've got the like, sleeping is not fun and the mental activity. But when I'm experiencing things in my personal life, I'm definitely pulling back, taking stock, deciding how is the best way to answer this, how's the best way to deal with it. That Virgo Mars is going to help you to have the conversation almost with yourself first before you have to have it with somebody else. When you take action, it's going to be once and done, hitting the bullseye, and you will not want to be messy. If you, with all that right activity and really wanting to be heard with Mercury in Leo, really wanting to be seen, this is a time where you might find yourself practicing the conversation. And I encourage that. Practicing a conversation and hearing it out first is much better than hearing it when you're having it with somebody and feeling like, oh, I wish I had said that different. It's not crazy to talk to yourself if you're practicing a conversation, because you're going to want to say it once and be heard. Now, the moon is in Aquarius, and I have to tell you, I love the moon in Aquarius. I love people with the moon in Aquarius. I think moon in Aquarius, and I have, you know, all the most important men in my life are air moons. My dad was a Gemini moon. My oldest son is a Gemini moon. My youngest son is an Aquarius moon. And so, and I understand it not only astrologically, academically, but in lived experience. And the other lived experience I have with Aquarius moon is that it was the most growth, most intensive growth that I ever had when I was in a progressed Aquarius moon. This year in my solar return, I was an Aquarius moon. Well, from 54 to 55. Now I'm 55, I'm in a new moon sign. But every time I have an Aquarius moon pop up in a solar return, in a progressed moon, there is so much growth, and I am able to let go of emotional detachments that no longer serve me. You may have found yourself over this weekend really more able to reason things out and not have surprise yourself and not have as an emotional reaction first, and be able to pull back and think. Now, of course, that Aquarius moon is not staying in there all week. It is moving into Pisces tomorrow, or later this evening, I should say. And then it's going to be dreamy, and it may not want to deal with whatever truths come up from that Neptune. Again, we also have to remember where there's going to be two ways to value things, to value ourselves. And we are going to want to be seen and heard. We're going to, whatever we take action for, we're going to want to get it once, the first way, the right way, once and done. Is that the phrase? I'm talking about, I said Mars and Aries because Saturn has now just gone retrograde in Aries. And I was talking about how Mars, Aries is ruled by Mars. You have to look at the rulers. Hi, Tanya. So this is going to be an interesting week, right? We have truth coming out. We have the opportunity to seek truth, to make sure we're not laboring under assumptions or delusions in any place in our life. It's really hard to execute that Virgo Mars, to execute our action, no matter what your natal Mars is too, but it's going to be harder to feel heard, to see the value in not just someone else, but yourself, and be exact with your actions so you don't feel messy about it. If we're not dealing in complete and total truth, which is really what we want for people, right? We want you to be dealing in facts, because that's when we can take a breath. Now, it's Pisces moon from tonight for the next 2.5 days. You may just sit with something and be more in your feels. And then you may be more likely to take action when that moon hits Aries towards the end of the week. And when that moon conjuncts the Saturn and the Neptune, that's a good day to advocate for yourself. It's a good day to advocate for yourself. With that being said, and again, Venus having a conversation with Jupiter, Mercury, and Mars, understanding what you value, and there's two ways to look at it. This week is going to be about truth, liberation from anything that isn't the truth, maybe surprise information falling on your lap, because that's what happens with these kind of transits. And if you have a Scorpio rising or Pluto on your ascendant or some other things, truth might always fall in your lap, and that's just a Tuesday. But for other people, You know, today, if it happens, you'll probably take a look at it with that moon in Aquarius. Tomorrow and the 2 days after that, you may be less willing to look at it, but sit with your feelings. It's important to feel all your feelings. And then with the other big conversations that are happening, which is the Venus, Jupiter, Mercury, and Mars, the best way to put that is look at this whole week as not this or that. It's and also. In my house, we can't say I love you, but it has to be I love you and, because anything before the but is really kind of reductionized, right? And so this week is and also, not a but, not a this or that. And it's really going to help you, especially again, when the moon finally moves into Aries later this week. It's going to help you execute what you need to execute and deal with things and advocate for yourself and somebody else at the same time. And when I say advocate for somebody else at the same time, it doesn't mean put their needs first. It means be accountable for your own actions, self-actualization in that Saturn, but be accountable for your own actions and also take no shit but do no harm. I promised you towards the end of the week, when that moon hits Saturn, it will be a take no shit, do no harm. And it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out in the collective. And of course, we are looking to Lori Rivers for that at Awake Space. All right, so now based on that, let's pull some tarot, shall we? Let me get that chat still back up. Aries in your 9th and 10th. Nikki, did you share some other information here? Last week, you finally got a potential offer the job. Oh, yay. Good. I'm happy to hear that. All right, so we're going to pull cards. And what we're going to pull cards for, Aries through Pisces, is that we're going to pull cards for what things you maybe need to look at and what ways you can grow. And then I will pull a card for love and money. So we'll pull 4 cards for each sign. If one of my lovely community members could take timestamps, that would be amazing. Actually worked out this morning before the shower, and I have just completed my getting everything kind of all set up for like my new shower routine. And I got one of those scrub nets. Thank you, Juan. Amazing. I am starting the other TikTok. That'll be this week. I was waiting for a transit in my chart called The Other Side of Suzzy, and I'm going to talk about like how I eat or the stuff I make or whatever. Basically, you're going to be like a health and beauty and probably some irreverent takes on some stuff. Aries, sorry, I wanted to give that a good shuffle. What could pop up for you this week that maybe you're not expecting? Justice. You may be getting something, and that's what happens with retrogrades. Retrogrades are not bad. They give us a chance to re-examine something. And so somebody could have re-examined the way they spoke to you. you could have put an appeal in on your TikTok video getting taken down, or a return that didn't look like it was, it could be anything, something at work that happened, but we're having justice, which just means something is going to be probably made right. What is a possible information that will, with the Neptune and Saturn and Aries, that we'll have to look at? Ooh, the Chariot. Universe has moved something. Wow, two major arcana, Aries. Universe is moving something for you. Now, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes this is a job, a person, a friend out of your life, right? This could also be moving. It's supposed, it will create balance. You know, it's funny, you got the Chariot, which has the yin and the yang represented with the Sphinx, and you have the Justice, which of course has the scales. Something you might not be expecting, Aries, could be coming in and shaking things up a little bit, but it's going to bring balance. It may not be as comfortable as you would like it to be when it first comes in, but it's going to bring balance. Okay, let's pull a card for love, which certainly love and relationships are on deck as well. Get the Queen of Swords. Listen, either this makes so much sense. So if you're not in a relationship, some form of you stepping up and being direct and honest could help with that relationship. And if you are in a relationship, for the relationship to get stronger, again, same. Queen of Swords does not mince her words. Doesn't mean she's an asshole. When it's in reverse, she's an asshole. She's mean to be mean. But in the upright, in the upright, this is a very direct, this is asking the questions. This is, you know, and the astrology should reflect the tarot, and the tarot should confirm the astrology. So this is exactly what I was talking about with, it's time to ask questions that you might be, you're assuming anything about your relationship. You could end up getting comfort, and you could end up finding out something that you have to make decisions. And remember that we can make decisions and not have it be an ultimatum. We can say like, oh, we're not exclusive. You have every right to be not exclusive. I didn't ask before, so that's my bad. I was assuming. And then you make the decision from that without punishing the other person, without making it a revenge thing. Because when we're doing that, we're stepping out of our authenticity. And this Saturn and Neptune in Aries is all about authentic. You know, it's funny, Neptune and Aries is also very angsty and kind of real and just what it is, substance. And Alanis Morissette is out there giving performances. Like, that's so Neptune and Aries. Okay. I want you to know. Yeah, that's very Neptune and Aries. Okay. Let's get one for like money, career. Okay, we have something is a little off balance. Careful about spending right now, people with the Aries energy, with two of Pentacles out of balance. And Venus in Gemini, it could feel like you're planning to spend your money on one thing, and you know, the toilet breaks, or something else happens. One of these windstorms knocks over something that needs to be repaired. Doesn't have to be natural, but I mean, there's just something else that may come up. So careful, you may be saving for one thing, but don't overspend and don't count chickens. Okay, on to Taurus. Taurus. Okay, Taurus, the first thing that may come up that you're not expecting is we have a page of wands. So there's three ways that this could hash out, especially with the Taurus. And this is good also if you have a lot of planets in the second house. Aries is good if you have planets in the first house, and so on and so on. And also if you just hear a message and you feel like that's very relevant to me and it's not your sign, your guides will get you the messages you're supposed to hear when you're supposed to hear them. So I would worry less about what sign we're on. I'm just checking what the heck is going on. There we go. With the page of wands, Taurus, you might lose a little passion for someone or something that you used to have, and you realize, like, I don't think I love this as much anymore. But also, if you have kids, you could have a child surprise you with something they want to do or something they feel passionate about. And you weren't expecting that. You didn't have that on your bingo board. Also, though, you may yourself get all of a sudden passionate about someone or something and you weren't expecting it, and it may not be convenient. But there's like a little fire, and whether to feed it or not, you're either falling in or falling out of passion with something or someone here. What is the information that may come up in this next week? What subject may, okay. Oh, Ten of Pentacles, not so shabby for Taurus. Loves the Ten of Pentacles. That is my happy ending card. You know, and I always say with Uranus, first of all, everybody should love Uranus. Uranus is always doing us favors and it gets a bad rap. Talk about Uranus. That's my new. I had a black eye and then I fell the week after. Since Uranus has been trining my Uranus, I'm like a whole, I might as well be doing physical comedy instead of, yeah, that's the new. With Ten of Pentacles, Taurus, you are, I mean, I hate to just tie a little bow on stuff because that's not me, you know, I'll be honest. This Ten of Pentacles card, especially, this is like a blending of families. It feels like a possibility, Taurus, and this is Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and second house, like strong second house placements. This could be the possibility of a blending of a family that you didn't think was available to you, or finding out that that is what somebody else wants, or realizing that's what you want with this person. But this is also like the money, the house. This could be about the availability to get property. You know, I don't know how our house market is going to fare, if I'm being honest, coming up in the next couple of months. And so if it's, that's going to be harder for people who want to sell their house, but for people who are looking to purchase a house, or land or something like that, it could open you up to being able to get a house. All right, let's see. And like purchasing it, not renting it. Okay. You got the King of Cups. for your card for love. So this is a very emotionally more mature person. I hope that is you being the emotionally mature person. This is a very, like, they say what they mean. They're not playing games. If they love you, they're going to tell you they love you. They're not going to make that a game either. King of Cups is in touch with their own feelings, so they can say I love you because they're not scared of what comes next, because they have already done their own emotional journey. Either way, whether that's you or somebody else, I love that for you. And if you're wondering, if you're a Taurus placement and you're sitting there and wondering if this is just distraction or fun for somebody, or whether they really have feelings, I would say they do. I would also say if anything happens in the next week, you're gonna surprise yourself at how emotionally grounded you are in the handling of it. And let's pull one for a career or anything. Okay, we have the Magician. So, you know, the Magician is good, as Gemma says, at hiding things. It's also a manifester. It's a doer. It's very low-key. It's very mercurial for me. When we have the Magician here, I want you to, if you're looking for a job or you're looking for promotion or upward movement in your job, I want you to not hesitate about making the moves, also, and physically, right? Making the moves. And then also doing your manifestations, doing your intentions as well. And whatever is coming up for you may look hidden right now. But that is a great card to go for it, but do both the metaphysical and the physical actions to go procure that raise, that promotion, or just that job. Hi, April, my love. So glad to have you here. Okay. Geminis. You got Venus in your sign. You got Uranus in your sign. That probably feels like a Tuesday. You love both of it. I could love you this way. I could love you that way. And I like it both ways, right? The quick wit of Gemini placements will be able to, like, they'll definitely deal with Uranus in their sign with like a little sense of humor and some style, some charisma. All right, Gemini, what may you not see coming with Uranus in your side? What might be a little bit of a surprise that is going to help you liberate and move in your life and grow in your life? Two of Pentacles, things are coming into balance. Also, with this Two of Pentacles, the balance is created by not having it be exact, right? One's higher than the other. Pulling back and prioritizing. And I feel like somebody is going to come in, Gemini, and either help you or say something profound. But the balance comes from not trying to give equal time, equal energy to the two things that are the most important in your life right now. And if you have two kids, I don't mean that. I don't mean like you, but one thing, yeah, the balance comes in by not trying to treat them exactly the same. Okay, what are the truth? Okay. I hate this, but I got to read my cards, how they come out. So we have the Two of Pentacles. This is Venus in Cancer in the upright. It's one of my favorite cards. But in you, and this makes sense to me because I just spent we went over the astrology in the beginning for the whole week. This is kind of finding out that the reciprocity may not be there in a relationship. Does it have to be a love? This is not the love card. It could be a family dynamic. It could be a friendship. It could be a work relationship. but where you thought like, oh, this is such a good partnership, or this is such a good give and take, it may not be, to your chagrin. And then let's see what we get for love. It just may be something, something may, with all of the current astrology, we are going to come to revelations and then see what we're supposed to be doing about things that no longer serve us. I mean, that should kind of be every day, but it's better not to labor under the delusion that you're getting as good as you're giving if you're not. Because when we find out later, we tend to feel foolish, and that's really damaging to our self-esteem, and that's far more important than any two particular people staying in a relationship. It's how we hold ourselves in esteem. Okay. Your love card is the sun. It came out sideways. So I'm going to tell you, Gemini, there may be a relationship that you have to move out of. There's another one already waiting in the wings. And trying to balance the both of them is not going to work either. Your love card is like, if it's not great now, it'll either get better if you're just supposed to have a conversation about something. If it seems bleak right now, Geminis, there's either hope, or you are supposed to move somebody out, and then there's something much better. It's almost like universe instantly rewards. Let's pull a card for money. Okay, you get to redo a decision. I love this for you, Gemini. So a while back, you would have, you too, Tanya, a while back, you would have made a decision, and you would have had to make sacrifices to make that decision. And you may feel like, I wish I had picked the other choice or done the other thing. And you're going to get a chance to remake that decision without sacrificing as much. And this is going to align you with both money and career, Gemini. All right, Cancers, what's your sign? I'm a Cancer. All right, let's see what's in store for Cancer. We are on Cancer. Hey, I want some feedback from all of you. Can you please leave me in the comments? I'm putting the workshop together. I'm going to do that like with Lori. Like, I'm going to be the one giving the workshop, but she's so great at teaching. So we're going to do that and release it towards the end of her summer school. But do you all want like 1 part, 2 part, or 3 part as a workshop? Do you want 3 installments of like a 2-hour class, or 3 installments of a 2-hour class? Like, do you want more detail on how to synthesize the cards together? I would be going over the history, the arcanas, like the guts of it, so that you have more information, so it helps you put the cards together. Or or do you want me to go light on that and do more on how you use the cards to connect with your guides, how you like create more relationship with spirit through tarot? So do you want it to be more in depth and do 3 installments or 2? I would love to have your feedback. Okay. Cancer, the world card. The thing that you don't see coming is there's a big change coming for you. And, you know, of course, this is about fixed energy. This could involve somebody with fixed, you know, signs, Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, and Aquarius. It's a closing of a whole book. It's not the closing of a chapter. It's a closing of a whole book. You want 4 workshops. Maybe I'll offer it in 2 ways. So people who want the shortcut one could take the shortcut one for a different price than the longer version of it. Maybe that's what we need to do. Give me feedback about that. Now, Cancers also like things a little, they're cardinal, but they also like the comfort, right? The creature comforts. And sometimes when things change a lot, Cancers can take that on. It's also good if you have a lot of 4th house energy. Cancers can take that on like they did something wrong because they're not providing this steadiness for those that they love because they're such nurturers, right? But the thing about a Cancer is it's under the crab. It's the crab shell that's the home. It doesn't really matter what you could give them a cardboard box and they'll make it a warm, comforting home. Storming here too. The thing you don't see coming is there's a whole big change for you, which means something's going to close so you can start a whole new book, like a whole new, and whatever this is that's coming is going to last a very long time. That's interesting because where April is the same. No, she's in a different time zone. I mean, technically Juan and I are in a different time zone, but we're closer. So that could be it. Okay, Cancer. What is something's going to happen this week though, Cancer, that's going to be like, oh, I can start this whole new thing. I'm not stuck here either. And Cancers won't try to stay stuck. They're cardinal. Yeah, because just synthesizing. And also, of course, I'm going to cover ethics. It's going to be trauma-informed tarot. So just synthesizing could take one whole workshop because that's the hardest part. And that's when you get the most accuracy. Seven of Cups in reverse. Anything that was a delusion, anything that was a fantasy, anything that felt foggy. Again, those retrogrades in Neptune and Saturn together, which really affect, that is cardinal. Cancer is cardinal. So that is going to square some of your Cancer placements. For me, that is squaring my sun. And my part of fortune, which I really don't talk about that much here. But this 7 of Cups is definitely in reverse, is definitely like there's going to be clarity. Now, the other thing that 7 of Cups mean is if you thought you could get news that you are the only person. You could get news that you're the only candidate for something, like you're the only right one for a job. You're the only. It could go either way. You could get a delusion kind of like cleared up, and it could feel like, oh, that was more fantasy than reality. It was what I wanted it to be and not what it really is. But also you could be getting news that like, yeah, no, I'm not interested in other candidates, other people to have a relationship with. Like I just want it to be you. Could go either way or both ways. That could end up being something that we weren't expecting to hear. Uranus trining, Uranus in my first house. How many things have I dropped? Good thing we don't play drinking games. Every time Suzzy drops or knocks something over, everybody take a shot because everybody would be coma by the end of my tarot. Okay, let's pull a card for love for Cancer. Love, starting anew. This card showed while I was shuffling, and I was like, I don't want it to be the card. It's the Three of Swords. It's sideways. Listen, Cancer. Something may come up in a relationship that you have already, or in a relationship that's ending, and the healing of the pain. When we get the Three of Swords, it doesn't mean somebody's coming to stab us in the heart. What it means is that there is no avoidance of past pain in relationships. This also gives us a huge chance to heal something. So now when it comes out sideways, it means you have the opportunity to turn it this way and heal it, right? The action is yours. Whenever a card comes out reverse or sideways or in the upright, it's your free will that turns the card. Tarot should be about you. It should be empowering, right? So with this sideways, something is going to come up that you're going to have to examine and sit with. This doesn't mean your whole relationship is going to go, ouchy. It just means that it just means that in order, because you have got the whole world changing here. You've got something closing a chapter. I'm going to tell you something about Cancers. They're supposedly notoriously oversensitive and over romantic and over mushy. We are fucking protective. We don't like vulnerability. That means our, soft white meat is exposed. We don't like that, especially once age hits, like after the age of 25, I'm going to say. Cancers aren't going to go out of their way to expose themselves to more hurt. Flower Peacock, I answered. You're gonna have to watch the video. So when this card is upside down, I don't want you to freak out and I don't want you to get sad. I want you to know that something is going to come up that is right on target for this week's astrology. Now, Cancers, you may be tomorrow and Tuesday and Wednesday a little bit in your feels. The other thing that water signs can do sometimes is because there is the whole vulnerability, because when they give, so it flows, right? Try to control water. And Cancer is the kind of water that's so strong and so always in motion that it's the kind of water that carves the Grand Canyon, right? So it feels like once I let that out of the bottle, it's very hard to control. With love, sometimes, hi Hannah, sometimes water signs can almost break their own hearts by sitting in the thoughts instead of looking at it as release. And that is what I'm going to encourage you to do this week for Cancers. I really think this is an old wound coming back up, especially because this card has that like black tar. And so to me, this is something in the past that stayed like a shadow on your heart that maybe has kept you from fully being vulnerable, which you don't have to be. but there may be a piece that, you know, you may be the person that needs to bring the truth. You may need to tell a partner, hey, I don't say that I need this because I don't want to be too much or too needy. And I see it as my job to take care of your feelings and not your job to take care of my feelings. And that's something I'm trying to heal for myself so I can put myself as much a priority as I put this relationship, right? So those are hard things for Cancers to do. They don't like to make themselves also vulnerable to be rejected because that's just a cardinal thing. Okay. Rejection is not a bad thing. It's the other side of boundaries. What is going on with money and job? It's the Magician. You're gonna just, again, there's more good stuff coming. Cancer right now. You got Jupiter in your sign. Something that you don't see yet is probably coming also, but you're gonna have to put both your metaphysical and your physical action with that. Let's get into Leo. Okay. Wow, that's interesting. Leo, the surprise you get is that there's something you've been or someone you've been trying to like decide between. There's an important decision. And you may have been like ruminating on this for a while. All of a sudden, the decision is going to be my hand's doing the glow thing again. Is it doing it on both sides of the screen? Yeah, that's yesterday. It was the anniversary of my mom's passing, and she usually comes in and says hi on some way. And she did it in a subtle way earlier in the day, and then at the exact time, because I did her hospice, I was holding her hand, so I know what time it was. Something extraordinary happened to me that's never happened to me before, and I was feeling her. And since then, everything has felt just a little extra. Like, I don't know if she boosted all of my stuff, but yeah, that's anyway. So it's probably a good day to be watching this tarot. Leo's, it's going to become so clear. Trust your gut, do a small meditation. The surprise is it gets taken off your plate as a conundrum, and you will just 100% know. You may get a sign, you may get something else. The thing that the information that you're going to get is that there is a, oops, should I cover her so I don't get flagged? There is this is healing, but also it's wish fulfillment. It is the star card. It is the card of Aquarius. You may be getting information. You may be getting information or evidence of something that you have been manifesting, but especially manifesting through healing that has opened up pathways, has I keep getting, Leo, this is about your own worth and not waiting for somebody else to tell you or give you that you're high on your own supply, and you're being, which is the PhD of Leo, is to self-service, all of that being seen and heard. Because you did that work, now something that you wanted for a while, I think that you stopped looking for it. You still want it. You're still trying to pull it in, but you've stopped like looking for it and then being disappointed. You stop like looking for it, which is just, and that never surprises me. If you're listening to my tarot, if you're on my channel, you're someone who's doing work on yourself. It's the only people who wander in here, to be honest. I love that for you, Leo. Let's pull a card for love for Leo. Okay. Leo, you like a Capricorn? You're doing really well for yourself. Something's going to come in. Do not let the ex, the situationship, the whoever, the do not let, because this is just self-sabotaging. This is bad habits. Could just be Capricorn, but you're doing all these right things. You've got all this stuff lined up and aligned for you, and it feels like somebody wants to come in and be like, oh, are you doing really great? Let me fix that. This feels like somebody who wants you to so that they can feel better about themselves, like, look what I pulled, instead of feeling better about themselves because they did their own fucking work. And also this feels like somebody who doesn't want to give you what you deserve, but also doesn't want you to get that from anybody else. Run, little girl, run. Not that any of my Leos are little girls, but yeah. Watch out for that ex. They might even not even be a full ex. It's just somebody who, like, I'm almost getting the feeling of somebody who, like, flirts and you think something's going to happen. It's been going on for like years. But now you've done so much growing that when you look at them, you're like, oh, ew, no, that's immaturity. That's not sexy. That's not mysterious. He doesn't know, or she doesn't know, or they don't know who the fuck they are. That's not cute. Yeah. Doesn't surprise me. Yeah. Somebody could, and they're trying to, like, take a hit off of you to feel better about themselves, because I'm sure if you're a Leo and you're listening to this, you treated them pretty well. You made them feel like they were, Leo doesn't want to be on a pedestal so everybody else feels like minions. They want their partner on a pedestal. They want everybody to feel like they can shine. So I'm sure you made them feel good, and now they're like, fuck that up. I don't want to do any work on my own. Let me just come back and see if I can get his self-esteem off of them. They make me feel good. Good for you. Okay, career, money, Leo. 9 of Cups. You feeling yourself. This is wish fulfillment. This is, you have finally the confidence, and that's going to bring in all of the other stuff. Like, that you do your job well. You are not insecure about your abilities, and also it's wish fulfillment. So that is a great card to get for money and career. For Leo, let's do Virgos. The amount of accuracy is killing you. I hope I'm killing you softly. Like the kiss of the Spider Woman. I just showed my age. Okay. Virgos, I got a bunch of you in here. Hi. I don't know why I just heard Leslie Jordan's voice in my head, and I love Leslie Jordan. So sad. I just heard, shit, what y'all doing? Screwing? That's what he used to say. Okay. What's the thing that you're going to be surprised about? Someone you may have had great self-esteem for, someone with, like, feminine energy, female presenting, possibly. May not be able to be that person right now, and you maybe have never seen them look or act less than that. This could also be if you have someone in your life that kind of thinks that they're the HBIC. If you need that explained, drop me a comment. And they're going to get a little humbling. And I don't think you saw this coming. The way that it affects you is it helps you take away imposter syndrome, Virgo, because even people that you thought one day I want to be like them is not really like them. A lot of it was their own insecurities, making sure that it was all a very, like, polished looking thing. So you would not wish for this person's downfall. I actually think this is somebody that you're like, man, but and I don't know that it's a complete downfall, but we're going to see a crack behind here, Virgo. And when you see that, it's actually going to just lessen the contrast how you feel about yourself to this person, and realize that you're in a position possibly to support them. It just really is good for your self-esteem. I Tanya, I wasn't on Capricorn. I did say Capricorn because what I said was that when that devil card came up as a love thing, I said it could just be that you're entering into something with a Capricorn, because that is Capricorn's card in the major. Okay. The information you may not be expecting is you are going to have a chance to leave something that is, whether you're physically moving geographically or whether you're moving out of a problematic office in your company or like department. We have the Six of Swords here. This is moving from choppy waters to smooth waters. Now you are taking your communication style, you're taking your thoughts and your mindset with it. So mind that in that journey, when you're moving from point A to point B, that you also give yourself as healthy as a mindset as possible. 2 weeks ago, I did a grounding, spiritual hygiene, and nervous system regulation video that I think everybody should watch, because we all need that right now. And yesterday in membership, if you don't know, we have a membership. And we do a lot of deep diving in that. Yesterday, we did a video on code switching, which just means changing out and rephrasing things in a from a less supportive way to what we want our future and ourselves to look like. And when I say future, I can mean tomorrow, to a more supportive languaging, because how the brain works, I literally talk about the frontal cortex and the executive function and why this is all science-based and all the research and NASA and blah, blah, blah. So that's one of the cool little videos you get if you are in membership. And if you're in membership and you didn't know that was up on the membership tab, go watch it. But there's going to be an opportunity to move out of something that you're happy to move out of. But again, be mindful, because you are still taking your mindset, your thoughts, your communication style with you. So the move itself isn't going to be the whole fix to whatever this needs moving out of. Okay. Love card for Virgos. Love card for Virgo. I just got for Virgo. Some of you are going to see a supervisor step down and you're going to be able to step up. Okay. Love card for Virgo is the High Priestess. Somebody with gifts, undeniable, or they're just out and out doing something in this field, metaphysics or what have you, is gonna either come into your life, or you may form a relationship with somebody who's already like this in your life. I will tell you, the more that you go on a journey, the more I deconstruct toxins out of my house, the more that there are things that I won't eat. I don't drink at all, not, and I never, that's not been a thing for me where I had to stop drinking because of the drinking. I just don't want it in my body anymore. And I have no judgment on other people who do. But what I'm saying is, with Virgo, once you kind of like, you keep trying to like, well, let's adjust this and let's see if we can make this better. And let's see if I can get my health better. Let's see if I can get my skin better. Let's see if I can get everything better. Let's see if I can get my activity better. Let's see if I can get my career better. Let me see if I can get my vocabulary better. Let me see if I can hit that right the first time really, really good, right? And that is such Virgo energy. So a high priestess, and this is genderless, does not surprise me here, because it gets hard. Like, you really kind of need to be with somebody who's on the same wavelength as you. But this is either somebody that's already in your life that's going to move into a relationship, or the person you're in a relationship is also going to start to kind of have their own awakening, or you're going to meet somebody through that modality. Okay. And career and money for Virgo. Okay. Five of Pentacles, and it came out upside down. So when Five of Pentacles is upside down, something you felt shut out of, something that you thought like you were missing information on, that maybe you got ghosted from, there's an inclusionary, uh, there's an inclusionary, not feature, there's an inclusionary theme to getting this card, where you once felt left out and not safe on the inner circle either. Now there is, either you don't feel the need to be for sanctuary, or you're coming out of financial lack. But this is more information coming in. This is inclusion coming in, whether that is like you want to be a partner in your law firm, or you weren't sure how your boss felt about you, or anything around that. You're about to get more information. If you've been working kind of almost in the dark, and like I could say anybody that works in government that has Virgo placements right now could probably relate to this. If you felt like, I don't know, there's going to be some clarity, and somebody maybe with more clearance for deeper information might come along and be like, hey, let me let you in on this. Libras, let me get a good shuffle in here. Okay. Libras, okay. The thing that you don't see coming is that there's somebody, I don't know, that you thought you could get over, whether that's a friendship, or it could be a grief of some sort. Not that we ever really finish grieving. The love doesn't change. Just, I mean, the love doesn't go away. It just changes. But I don't think that's this. This is something I think that you thought, I'm never going to process this. Like, this is never going to be okay. I'm never going to get over this like breakup, or this person, or this thing that happened to me. And you do. Something happens in this week that is the catalyst to really doing some deep healing, Libra, and releasing yourself from this level of grief, or this level of feeling like you would never get over this one person, or what have you. This is a really, really beautiful thing. And whatever's going to happen, someone says something to you this week, and it feels neutral. Ooh, that's a chill, Libra. Seventh house placements. You can't see that. I have full chicken skin right now. The thing that you're going to get information about is that there may be a grant, a relief from debt, maybe like a low interest loan or something. There is some kind of money that's coming to you, or like money for a startup, money if you want to do like a side project. It's not going to be a ton of money, but it's like a little nest egg, and then it has the chance to like really grow. But you're going to find out about something that's going to, there was something you may not have been doing because you didn't have the start cash, and now that is going to come in for you, which I love. Let's get a love card for Libra. Ooh, a love card for Libra. Aw, thank you, Flower Beauty. Good night, honey. I know it's late where you are. Okay. Love card, Chariot, Libra. You're either possibly dealing with a Cancer, or you're going to go see somebody, or somebody's going to come see you. Or there's just movement in something that's been dormant for a while, and universe is really kind of like putting things in play. I feel like with this movement for Libra, oof, um, it's like the Uranus and Gemini and the Pluto in Aquarius are they're helping the Libra placements. Um, like there was a glitch of some sort, and that glitch that you saw and it all of a sudden reminded you of somebody, or I don't know, there's something, but it's universe is helping move this. And to me, this is like, universe, and here's like the Pluto and the Uranus and Gemini being in cahoots. Something's going to happen, but it feels like it's internet or like technology, but there was like a glitch, and I don't know, there's movement in something that this could be somebody you haven't spoken to in a while. Okay. Money wise, something that feels like you've been doing it, you've been at it a while. We have the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Let me explain before you see the reverse or anything else. This motherfucker is slow. That is a geriatric horse. The Knight of Pentacles moves slow. He's not there for just a good time like the other knights. He's there for a long time. We love that for him, right? We love that for us. So when it's in release, for just a handful of you, that just may means there's a stop, but I don't think that with the rest of your cards, there's a lot of release, there's a lot of help, there's a lot of support. And so this is like the Knight of Pentacles that finally gets moving. And the slowness of whatever you've needed to like support you financially or career wise is really kind of picking up some momentum here, Libra, which I love for you. Okay. Scorpio, how the hell you doing? What's your sign? I'm a Cancer. You can tell I came to the live stream with my hair still wet because I've got the like golden retriever dog crimp air in the back because it wasn't dry. I'm gonna make homemade marshmallows, but with like marshmallow root, not like just with like gelatin and sugar. I'm gonna make homemade marshmallows, and then I'm gonna dehydrate them and put them in sweet almond oil and make a body oil and body wash with it. I already have strawberry oil that I made. I love smelling good. I don't love parabens and chemicals and things that give you cancer going onto my skin, which is the largest organ. Um, so when I finally open my other side of Suzzy, I started making a few videos. I just want to have enough in the bank so when I start it, I don't just stop it again because I can't catch up. But yeah, I'll include all of that. Marshmallows used to be medicinal until they just became sugar and crap. Okay. What you're not expecting, Scorpio, is there's going to be a whole lot of communication. Things are going to get moving. Something is going to happen. This is lots of release. This is a lot of maybe communication you've been waiting for. It may feel like you feel more talkative than normal, which would be more likely than Scorpio is waiting for information. They don't fucking care. That's very interesting. Because it's a lot of, hi Alicia. It's a lot of movement for Scorpio, which kind of like moves slowly in the dark more. But this is like you are on your way to something and you are happy about it. Woo. Like make the time to do things like, well, I mean, honestly, I have to cook for like I have to eat all whole foods. I have to prepare my own food for my health. So, but like, so when I eat strawberries, I just take all the strawberry tops and I separate them. Some get dehydrated and then I just throw them in a mason jar with oil. It's really that easy. So, and dehydrating just means putting the oven at 170 and putting it on a tray with parchment. So that part really, really doesn't take time. It's just remembering to save the strawberry tops, to save the pineapple skin, to save the orange peel, the tangerine peel, the grapefruit peel. And then I just dehydrate them. I just to make sure I don't dehydrate. Like I also make my own onion powder and garlic powder, dehydrating onion and garlic bits. But you just make sure you're not putting them in at the same time. Takes less time than you think. I have to do the cooking part or else I wouldn't be able to do anything else. Scorpio, why are the cards being weird? Is that it? That's your whole reading, the one card? I don't think so. Okay, what information is going to come up? Maybe that information is going to come up during one of those 8 of Wands. I think it's going to surprise you, but you're happy about it. What information is going to come up for you? Scorpio, Scorpio rising, sun, moon, Venus, 8th house, stellium or strong planets. Like we have sun or moon. Money. Again, it's a little bit of money. It's the same card that Virgo got. Was it? I can't remember. Somebody got this in this position too. I think Libra got this card. And I just extra shuffled because I felt like I had to. This is for Scorpio, this is money you didn't know was there. Might not be a lot, might be like somebody bought a timeshare and then it's like coming to you. Or like something you have is a value that like you can sell for a little bit of money that doesn't have emotional value, so you don't care about selling it. It's information about something that will bring in a little bit of money. All right, look for that this week. Look for that this week, Scorpio. Scorpio never minded a little bit of cash. Okay. Your love card is the King of Wands. It is time for either you or your person to really step into the movement. I mean, this kind of goes along with that Eight of Wands, where it's like, this is movement, this is passion, this is doing, this is not talk about it, this is be about it. It's a very mature kind of passion. And also, like, there could be a realization in your either established relationship or somebody you're interested in a relationship with, that they have been forged in fire, and that while they seem not happy-go-lucky, but like not miserable, it's a movement for you, Scorpio, that you don't have to be in a misery loves company. Like, you may, when you were younger, have been attracted to more dark people, right? Because the energy felt like, well, then I won't feel like I'm too dark if I'm with them. But this is somebody who's just been forged in fire, but they're also like participate in life and don't take their darkness out on you. This is also like brown chicken, brown cow. Scorpio don't mind that either. A little bit of money, a little brown chicken, brown cow. All right, what are we getting from money, job, work? That Page of Pentacles too could just be like, oh, there's a work bonus you didn't know about. Okay, so listen, there might be some issues at work. Somebody may be trying to start a little argue with you. You don't have to. You're gonna have like inner conflict about whether to just don't let them be their own problem. Stay out of. It feels like, listen, there's a lot of stuff going on with like department of all the departments right now. This could be at work. This could be people really realizing that some people are like pro-humanitarian and some people aren't. And Scorpio will fight. But this is not, I'm going to say don't fight to your detriment. And that I'm an Aries moon. I normally am just like, everybody knows I'm all Vaseline and sneakers, but just know that like, the arguing, the vibe of the arguing, the culture is going to be kind of unavoidable at work. You can take your stand, but not to your detriment. And that's what I keep hearing. It's not a mosh pit. Don't mosh. Sagittarius, what might surprise you this week? And Sagittarius, somebody left a comment like, I'm Sag rising and I'm feeling it right now. Yeah. Mars is in Virgo. Both Venus and Uranus are in Gemini now, which oppose you. And the North Node is in Pisces. So you've got quite a few things, even if there's no planets in your sign. And we have 2 planets in Aries and a planet in Leo, and those are trining. So you've got squares, oppositions, and trines. There's a lot of stuff talking to Sagittarius right now. So if you're Sagittarius and you're like, why do I feel like this? There's no planets in Sag right now. It doesn't have to be. That's what aspects are. Those are the conversations the planets are having with each other. So big hugs to my beautiful, bold, bright, colorful Jupiterian Sagittarius. If you're feeling it right now, I'm just going to say you probably are, and you're not crazy. Okay. Ooh. Sagittarius, you're gonna want to possibly leave something, and possibly Aries got this card too. Possibly separate yourself from something. The for it you may have the realization that it has fizzled, or there could be something else you really want to go to. I'm getting, for a handful of you, this is boredom in one relationship, and you cannot bore a Gemini, you cannot bore a Sag. There's a little spark that gets lit. That's maybe just for a few of you. Okay. Could be about a project, but I'm just getting that for some of you, it might be Me and my glowy hands are getting there. For some of you, this is boredom in one relationship and somebody else all of a sudden like piquing your interest. Okay. And maybe there's some physical arousal with it that you're feeling. Like they get you in the brain and it goes down to your thighs. Ooh, just got that very clear. Okay. I'm not accepting that. Okay. The information you're going to find out is careful, Sagittarius. People who are fighting are not fighting anymore. And if they're not telling you that they're not fighting for some reason, I feel like you should know that information. Well, okay, what I'm seeing very, very clearly is that me saying that to you is tantamount. Have you seen those videos where people go on TikTok and they're like, is your name Alexa and your best friends are Jennifer and Denise, and they were at brunch, girl, and they were talking about you, and just so you know, you think that you're the peacemaker, but they're actually like, now they think that you're like too big for your britches. That's what I'm getting. Like the information you're going to get is people who are pretending to kind of be at odds with each other are kind of putting you in the middle as both of their confidants, but they're like literally doing that so you feel comfortable talking, but then they're talking shit about you. So just look around. It could be just work. It might not be your besties. It could just be like work friends or acquaintances, but they're like relying on you for help. And you have philosophies, you've got beliefs, you've got answers, you've got help. You want everybody to like do good. You're from Jupiter, like, let's see how we can make this better. Just careful, Sag. They're like, I feel like they're going to you for advice, but and it's out of jealousy, 100% out of jealousy. All right, what do you get for love? Ooh, Six of Pentacles. Whatever's going on in love, there's going to be like nice reciprocity. Like you're going to get what you're going to give. And also, if you've just been somebody who's been given your whole life, somebody's going to spoil the shit out of you like you deserve. Sagittarius, ninth house placements. And for work, we get that same card as Virgo got. Like you're going to get let in some information. There's going to be some inclusatory. This may be why the other people are jealous of you, because you're about to get let into the upper inner circle, Sag. But like read between the lines when you're at work, because people are trying to test you out and they want to take you to the next step. You've got somebody trying to help you. Okay. Capricorn, and then only 2 signs and we done. We out. We out. Like Sierra and Nicki Minaj. Ladies, if you want to do. I love that song. Okay. A lot of new starts. A lot of new starts. Page of Pentacles here for Capricorn. You might be surprised that somebody wants to shadow you, like they being I almost said a mentee to your mentorship. Or you could have a child that wants to follow in your footsteps and you weren't expecting it. This also could be like a little bit of money you could get. There could be money to there could be money for training somebody also. But this could also be like a new thing that you start to do. You may be in a position, Capricorn, where you can sit back and train other and have, I'm hearing delegates, like delegate the work. That is very interesting. All right, let's see the information that may pop up. I would say the same thing. Your guides will get you to the messages you're meant to hear. So sometimes you're listening to another sign's message and it makes sense for you. Ooh, okay. You got judgment for the information coming in. That is past, present, future. You're going to get feedback from somebody, Capricorn. Some of it's going to be good, some of it's going to be bad, but it is going to, like, for a lot of you, it's going to confirm that you did that, like, you climbed the hill, that you, like, did the thing. I mean, I kind of think that, like, you're always trying to do that. So you do, and you kind of know that, and you have that, like, confidence. But this is going to be feedback from somebody that, like, you really, like, admire, and that this feedback means a lot. It motivates you and lets you relax at the same time. If that makes any sense. Like, it feels good, but also lets you know, like, you can relax a little bit because your legacy is almost set, I want to say. Your love card came out too, and you got the Queen of Wands. Somebody's doing their own thing. Somebody feels in their own power. That could be you. You could all of a sudden feel really, this is, I attract, I don't chase energy, Capricorn, and I love that for you. It's also very creative, but it's spicy, like spicy in a brown chicken, brown cow good way. That's either about you or somebody else. But don't forget, when we're looking at queens, this is a very mature energy. It doesn't mean that it's an older person, but it just means this is somebody who's not going to be, Queen of Wands is not about the drama. They're not having it because they walk in a room like they own it. So they don't need to deal with drama. They can kind of have their pick and choose often. They sit in their power. Ooh, do you see that? Each of them keeps flipping and then flipping back out. Okay. For work, career, or a job, we have the Seven of Cups at 100% came out sideways. Narrow it down. Don't do 3 jobs and get paid for one. Narrow it down. Pick, you're incredible, Capricorn, and you can do a lot, and you do have that BDE, but like, you're gonna wear yourself out. Also, you're gonna get burnout. Narrow it down. Aquarius. What is unexpected that may find its way to you this week? What is on its way to you that you may not see coming? Okay. All right, Aquarius. Somebody might be trying to get you to fight, trying to be an asshole, is going to be mean. And you know what you're going to do? You're going to be like, okay, well, now I'm just going to tell you that I don't need that. And I'm just going to, you're not going to get an answer. This may also be you. You may get into something with somebody where you surprise yourself and you have to be the mean guy. You have to be the bad guy. Everybody needs a bad guy. I'll be the bad guy, right? I say that often. Yeah. So King of Swords is like, says things there. It's not, you stupid idiot, your mom's ugly and your kids are stupid, kind of like insults. It is cut somebody where they need a thesaurus so they can figure out in which manner you've just insulted them. It's not passive aggressive though. I think somebody pressed your button on your Wonkavator, Aquarius, and you're not going to do the drama. You're going to say one thing to them and let them know where they stand. And then I think you're going to cut them off. And I don't think this is something you see coming, or the person is the unexpected part. Let's see what information comes in for you this week. Oh, okay, great. Something you thought you had to be attached to, you're not anymore. These two may be related because this person, you need to pop off and let them know. You may get to detach from something else that was definitely holding you back, because you don't do a lot of Four of Pentacles. You don't have the unhealthy attachments as much as the other signs do, because you're Aquarius and you know how to like separate it without being right. It's still the sign of the humanitarian. Aquarius are very good people. But with this card here and this card here, this is reading and synthesizing. The truth that comes in is you get released from something that you had a previous attachment to, like released from a contract, or there's some kind of snafu. There also could be some kind of like glitch or breach or something that is unexpected, but the truth comes in that like there's a loophole and you get released from a contract or something, and it has its money. Hi, Denise. How are you, love? Okay, the love card is there's somebody who is nuts about you and you are not seeing it. Look around, Aquarius. I think they think they're obvious, which is such an Aquarius thing. I think this person thinks they're obvious and you're just, it's, you have an admirer and they're like right under your nose. That's so on brand. Let's look at money. Money, money, money. And career for Aquarius. Ooh, Knight of Wands. Someone's going to come in all excited and ask you to do something with them, collab with them. That's very Aquarius. I have not done this for any of the cards, but I feel like I want to give you an answer. Yes. It's safe to collab with them. Somebody's going to come in very excited with a project or an offer or something, but they're going to want you specifically to help, not just a helper, not just someone. They're going to want you specifically. And they're going to be very excited. You'll know it's in. They're so excited about it. Okay. Ooh, my ear was just ringing. Pisces. Ooh, this is weird. All of a sudden, I'm getting like little sensations all over my face. Okay, Pisces, what is it that you don't see coming? There's something that's been stressing you out, making you distracted, and you just keep taking it on. You keep like, this is just life. I'm getting like, if you hear how I'm talking, I'm getting like Eeyore vibes. And it's over. It's over. This is the everything is fine while looking at your phone to the escapism, which is so Pisces. I don't think that the thing stops. I don't think that the pain is over. I think you, Pisces, just stop taking it on. This is a boundary. And with Saturn in retrograde, that is a time when we re-examine our boundaries. What's the truth coming in? Woo! Somebody was pretending that they could not make a decision because they didn't. There was something you needed from somebody, and you said, like, hey, I need to know what's going on. I just need to know so I can operate, so I'm not up in my head. And you maybe going to find out that they can make the decision. they've been choosing not to, and that information is going to let you make the decision instead, which I know doesn't sound, but this is a lot of release for Pisces. This is a lot of movement in a good way. Don't forget you have the North Node in your sign. You know that Virgo Mars on the other side of your seesaw is going to help you cut out and execute things that you might have sat and thought about. And Neptune in retrograde is also really helping you right now. Okay. This is very interesting. So there's a love situation and there's a tiny little obstacle. Listen, universe put this obstacle in. They did not put this obstacle in. That also means it will get moved. It will get moved. I think when Mercury goes into Virgo, you're going to get more information on this, but something is going to feel like there's a little bit of an obstacle. There's a little bit of like, pump the brakes. It is for your benefit. I almost feel like for some of you Pisces, you might be talking to somebody. They might be talking to somebody else, but that's somebody else that you think is like light, or you're not sure if they exist. Is somebody that thinks they're the only person talking to this other person, and it is best for you to not be anywhere around this, or something, I want to say just slightly unethical or slightly unsavory is going to happen. And because you are not anywhere near this, because it got put on pause, you don't have to be anywhere near it. It also, it keeps you clean a little bit because you don't know about it, so you're not trying to help. But the other thing is that no one's ever going to associate you with whatever's about to go down. So something goes on pause, but it's like it's like when you're stalled getting out of the house and you realize exactly where you would have been an accident but you were stalled. That's what I'm getting. Like the hangman here is doing you a big favor, keeping you out of something that would have been messy. And you probably wouldn't have had anything to do with it, but it would have looked, the impropriety would have been assumed, and now it won't be. Okay. At work, Pisces, you may have to balance stuff that's not really yours to balance. It may feel like a little bit of a tight juggling act for you right now at work, Pisces. What is going on with Aquarius? I just want to get a card for, okay. We're in Leo season now. When stuff starts to move into Sag, which I know seems far away, but it's really not that far away. When Mars and Mercury start to move into Sag, I feel like there's a lot of rewards. So this week, again, may feel like you're getting released, and that's a learning process. So this is a new tool that you learn too, when you're like, oh wait, I don't have to be the victim of that. I don't have to take that on. That's not my monkey. That's not my circus. That I love. Two, truth coming to you when somebody wouldn't give it to you. It's going to come to you as a favor, and you getting held back, like that stall out of the house so you don't get into the car, so that you could be out of something. So then when it comes back together, none of, like, it doesn't, it lets you do it in I keep getting cleaner way, not messy. The stuff that you have to like balance at work that maybe not also your job, the first thing that you're going to go through with this 10 of Swords in reverse, the everything is fine card. It literally says that everything is fine. I'm just scrolling on my phone. That is a temporary situation. And again, when stuff starts moving into Sagittarius, you start getting rewarded for how you're handling everything, A, and B, I just heard it's safe to get back in the water, which is interesting because you're a water sign. I don't know if you're obsessed with Jaws. Maybe that's a okay, guys. I hope this was helpful. Please, if you're catching If you're just watching your sign, please go watch the astrology part because that's important. That's everything that's going on this week. I'm going to go eat my quinoa and chia seed oatmeal. And I will see you all this week. Wednesday, I think we do Neptune. There's just so much stuff going on that I wanted to give support. So we've been doing other things in membership. Also, membership is fun and great if anybody wants to join. And if anybody here is in membership and they want to say, yes, it's fun and great, or drop that in the comments, I would appreciate that. I love you. Now you love you. You guys all have a great day.